Okay, is my screen visible to you? I think I have not shared my screen. Yes, I have shared my screen. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, yes, yes.
So it is basically Anuj Jhakar sir notes from IIT Madras. It is available in online, which I am using. So because it is a some, I do not know whether copyright exists and also, that is why again and again I am saying this. So today's class I will basically discuss about partial differentiation. So before starting with partial differentiation, I will say a few things. So in single variable calculus, you have only one variable to play with. So if you use only one variable, so only one kind of differentiation is there. So only one variable you can differentiate with only it. But if there is more than one variable, then how to define differentiation? Because function of two variables u x y, and then u is a function of x and y, so you can differentiate u in terms of x as well as in terms of y, right? So when the idea is, if there are two variables, if you cannot alter two variables simultaneously while considering derivative or partial derivative. So if there are two variables, we are really bothered about only two variable calculus. So if there are two variables, there are two types of differentiation possible. So first type of differentiation is you keeping fixed one variable and varying the other one, and the other one is you simultaneously varying the two variables altogether. So if you fix one variable and take differentiation with other variable, then this type of differentiation is called as partial differentiation, and the derivatives are called as partial derivatives. So first recall.
Hello, Moto.
Yes, excuse me. Yes, I am currently taking class of Engineering Mathematics 1. You want to attend the meeting? Okay, I have attended it. Admit all. Is it M Surendran? Is it you? Okay. Thank you. So let D subset of R, and let C. Santa Kumaran, is my screen is visible to you? Okay, no. So let D is a subset of R, and let C be an interior point of D. A function f d to R is said to have a derivative at C if limit h tends to 0, f of c plus h minus fc by h exists, and then it is denoted as f prime c. Now if you have two real value, fxy is a real valued function defined on a region D subset of R2, let x0 y0 subset of D. If C is the curve of intersection of the surface z equal to fxy with the plane y equal to y0, then the slope of the tangent line to C at x0 y0 fx0 y0 is the partial derivative of fxy with respect to x at x0 y0. So just carefully read this sentence. This is basically the geometric interpretation of partial derivatives. So first and foremost, partial derivative is you fix one variable and you take derivative with respect to the other. More formally, we can define a function f d2r is said to have a partial derivative with respect to x at the point x0 y0 if limit h tends to 0, fx0 plus h y0 minus fx0 y0 by h exists, and then is denoted by del f del x x0 y0 or fx x0 y0 or df dx x y0 x equal to x0. Do not remember this symbol, this is very rarely used. Mostly we use these two notations. Now, so a function d to r is said to have a partial derivative with respect to y at x0 y0 if limit k tends to 0, f of x0 comma y0 plus k minus fx0 y0 by k exists, and then it is denoted by f del y x0 y0. So here actually basically is the increment you are providing in the y direction, and then just the idea is same, just like single variable calculus. Okay, now so this is basically the geometric interpretation. You are, when you are just using this type of segment, that means you are fixing the x axis or y axis, and then you are putting some line, this curve you are fixing, and then line has a slope del f del x a comma b. That means you are considering the slice. Now this is the geometric interpretation. Again, let's see, denote the curve obtained by intersecting the graph of f by the horizontal plane y equal to y0. The partial derivative of f with respect to x at x0 y0 equals the slope of the tangent to the curve c at x0 y0. It can be interpreted as the rate of change in f along x axis at x0 y0. That I have told earlier, that it is basically the increment in the x direction of the function divided by the increment you are providing in the axis, axial increment, that means h or k, whatever. Now partial derivatives of sums, products, quotients and compositions of function of two variables can be found in exactly the same manner as the derivatives of a function of one variable. Now one more thing, if all the partial derivatives like fx and fy exist at x0 y0, then you can define gradient. So gradient of f is del f del x at x0 y0 plus del f del y at x0 y0. So basically gradient is a scalar quantity, and these three terms, gradient, divergence and curl, it comes frequently in fluid dynamics as well as in vector calculus. Now example. I will say, give one example. So your fxy is y sine of xy. So you need to find fx and fy. Please solve it. You have your f, you need to find fx as well as fy. this is a very easy problem. Okay, so if you are solving, then please cross check. Fx xy is basically you are for y sin xy, you fixing y and then taking derivative with respect to x. So your answer will be y cos xy into y, so y square cos xy, because here sin xy, so if you take derivative sin xy it will give you cos xy, and you need to take derivative of xy as well, so if you take derivative of xy as well, so it will give you y, so y square, because x we are fixing y, right? Now fy xy is same, your y sin xy, so if you take derivative with respect to del f del y is yx cos xy plus sin xy. Similarly, you have some explicit formula as well. For example, you need to find out del z del x and del z del y, where z f x y is defined as s cube plus y cube plus z cube minus 6yz equal to y. So you take derivative del z del x, so in terms of you can get implicit differentiation. Basically here you cannot explicitly define, in terms of x y z all will come in the final expression. So you can also give a try to this problem. Please, I am giving 1-2 minutes, you can solve, you find out del z del x and del z del y for z equal to fxy. So okay, no problem. I am once again it is I can discuss for del z del x. So if you take del z del x, you get 3x square plus 3z square del z del x minus 6xy del z minus 6xy del z del x equal to 1. So what will be del z del x? So del z del x will be 3x square. So here you can del z del x, you can take,
There will be another term minus 6yz.
yes, it will be 3x square divided by 3z square minus 6xy, right? Because you need to yes, just I think you have done some, this is, you need to take del z del x, right? So if you take del z, you need to first derive this function, na? It is called implicit differentiation. So del z del x will contain terms considering z.
Sir, what is the answer?
Okay, just one second. So here the answer is, you take partial derivative of this function. So it will be 3x square plus 0 plus 3z square del z del x minus 6xy del z del x equal to 0. So you take del z del x.
Is also a term.
Yes, term by term partial differentiation.
Because 6xy del z del x is one term, and then minus 6yz, because you have to differentiate partially the terms 6yz with respect to x.
Yes, but you need to take del z del x, na? So no, actually z is a function of fxy, na? So
I mean to say del z del 6 minus 6xy del z del x must be a term in this operation, but there is another term in addition to these three terms, that is minus 6yz. Because when you derivative partially the whole function with respect to x to become 6yz, 6 minus 6xyz, there will be a term minus 6yz also.
minus 6yz.
Yes.
XYZ. Yeah, exactly. Yes, correct. Because you are partial derivative, x and y are independent, so you need to take derivative of xz. Yes, so there will be minus 6yz as well. Yes, thank you. So if you take this 6xz in that side, no, that will actually come in the numerator. not in the denominator. I was talking about denominator term, because here you have 3x square plus 0 plus 3z square del z del x minus 6xy del z del x. I was talking that this minus xy and plus 3z square, this will come in the denominator, and then what you have told is right. Then you will get one more term minus 6yz, because you are taking derivative with respect to x, so you are deriving z as well as you need to take derivative of x as well. So that is why you will get minus 6yz, the latter term. Okay, sorry I missed that. Thank you for correcting me. So the plane x equal to 1. Similarly you can also determine del z del y. The plane x equal to 1 intersects the surface z equal to x square plus y square in a parabola. You need to find the slope of the tangent to the parabola at the point 1 to 5. So you need to just take derivative. The arc slope is actually del z del y. So del x square plus y square by del y, xy are independent, so it will be 2y, and the value of y is 2, so 2 into 2 will be 4. Next, these are also similar concepts. Partial differentiations examples. Let fxy belongs to square root of x square plus y square for xy belongs to r square. Let x0 y0 not equals to 0, because for 0 0 you cannot get partial derivative. The concept is same, because the left hand and right hand derivative will not be equal, because it will give you sine function, that means signum function, and the signum function gives you a discontinuity at 0 point, because either you will approach to plus 1, other will approach to minus 1. If your h is less than 0, then you are approaching to minus 1, and if you are approaching to 0 from the positive side, then your answer will converge to 1. So note, so is it clear? Now xy by x square plus y square. Now this is a counter example. We have already seen that this xy divided by x square plus y square. Okay, so this function is not continuous at the point 0 0, but still this function attains partial derivatives at the point 0 0. Okay, so this is basically due to that partial derivative is a loose condition. But if you are in two variable case as well, if your function is differentiable, then obviously your function should be continuous. Your function will be continuous. There is no doubt in this thing. That means in higher dimension also differentiability implies continuity, but not partial derivability implies continuity. Am I clear? Anybody trying to join? No, there is no one. Now higher order partial derivatives. Let D is a subset of R2, if D2R. So the concept is same. You are first taking derivative with respect to x, then this function del f del x, you are taking it as another function gx, and then you are defining the partial derivatives on and on and on. So that is how you can get multiples higher order partial derivatives. So these higher order partial derivatives are del 2f del x square. You can also have del 2f del y square, and depending upon the ordering you can have del 2f del x del y as well as del 2f del y del x. So this del 2f del y del x and del 2f del x del y, these two things basically they becomes different. They are not usually same. Okay, they will be equal to each other if they satisfy two different conditions. one is the, they are actually equivalent condition. One is the Schwarz theorem, the other one is the Young's theorem. If I think it is not in syllabus, so I will skip the theorem part. So this actually fxy0 and fyx0 may not be equal. Usually they are not equal. So example, let fxy equal to xy x square minus y square by x square plus y square. You can show by considering polar coordinate that this function is actually continuous. If xy belongs to not equals to 0 comma 0 and f00 equals to 0, then fx0 y0 is basically minus k, minus y0. If so, you can actually get that this you can just by multiple derivatives you take. First take fx, you calculate fy, then take fxy and then calculate fyx. You will get basically the answers as minus 1 and 1. This is a home task that you can solve easily. Now mixed partial theorem or mixed derivative theorem, I am not interested in the proof. Let D be a region in R2, let the function f d2r have continuous first and second order partial derivatives on D, then fxy equal to fyx. This is a mixed derivative theorem. So the mixed derivative theorem says that if the function let D be a region in R2 and the function f d2r have continuous first and second order partial derivatives on D, then fxy equal to fyx. Now you can solve this problem. You need to find del 2w divided by del x del y. If w equal to xy plus e की power y by y square plus 1. Ritom sir, I have one question. So what is your take? What is your take in it as a teacher? Because you teach the students whether in tuition or in college. So I can ask the question in Bangla as well, but I am asking in English because I will post it in YouTube so that everybody can understand. The question is, it is my question. I have my own kind of answer, but still I am not convenient with it. My question is, d dx of y, we are writing it as not as different division, like dy dx is not numerator and denominator, but still solving for ODEs. For example, if you have dy dx, d dx of y is equal to x, we in the next line write as dy equal to x dx. Now how this trick in, although they are not division, but still they are acting, the inverse is acting as multiplication. How this is justified? So what is your take in it?
It comes from the concept of total differentiability.
But actually total differentiability you will teach it in third year, maybe not in first year. I think in basic 12th, how can you discuss it, that how these things comes, that dy dx is equal to x, ddx of y is x, then you are writing as dy equal to x dx.
So they get their answer after the 2 years. For the beginners, they just try to solve the problem as we teach them that dy dx equal to x, then dy can be expressed as x dx. Now the logic behind this expression which we discussed in the later years, we are looking a problem about that.
Like this is a very silly question, I think. Well, silly in the sense that
No.
Also I have one more question. I asked my supervisor this question also. My question is, I think you have sometimes solved stochastic differential equation. You know that by putting noise we can get transform and ODE into an SDE. Now just like if there is 4 points if with the 4 points you can only draw a polygon having 4 sides, you cannot prove it, right? There is no proof that using 4 points you can have only a polygon of having 4 sides. So similarly, one question stuck in my mind, I asked my sir as well, and sir is also stuck in the question. The question is, a stochastic differential equation, if you solve, it will give you a like noisy trajectory, and so why that noisy trajectory looks like that noisy? So what my take on it, that's that the random states you get while solving numerically a SDE are basically the steady state solutions of the same of the ODE that you have transformed into SDE. That ODE is steady state solution for some different parameter value. So that is why when you are putting some noise, that noise is pushing the random states of the SDE to those particular noisy kind of structure. That means the random states of a stochastic differential equation are basically the steady states of the ODE with some different parameter value. So I was thinking this question, I have asked my sir also the same, my sir is also stuck that. So my intuition, you understand that what I am trying to say?
Yes.
That means why noise gives you that kind of trajectory? Why not, if you change the noise intensity, you will get the fluctuation more higher and higher. And there is also some limit that if you put some sigma noise up to this, your trajectory can fluctuate up to this limit only. So how these things are interconnected? So I sometimes this type of questions I sometimes get stuck, that why these things happen. Just like that, you have learned complex analysis, you have learned everything, we have also learned, but the thing is that, see, complex analysis is difficult than real analysis in my opinion. But still, in real analysis, if a function is differentiable, it doesn't mean that its offsprings or derivatives will be differentiable. But in complex analysis, if you get one function to be derivative one time, it is infinitely many times derivable.
Yes, it happens in case of analytic function.
No, yes, that is actually whatever in the algebraic people say that this happens because the field structure or algebraic structure is different.
Yes.
The field structure, the multiplication properties and all are different in the two things. But still, why I do not have specific answer to it. So these questions sometimes pop in my mind at 3 a.m. I do not know that what I am learning and all. Okay. So in find del 2 w del x del y if w equal to xy plus e ki power y by y square plus 1. The symbol del 2w by del x del y tells us that to differentiate first with respect to y and then with respect to x. However, we interchange the order of differentiation and differentiate first with respect to x, we get answer quickly. So sometimes, if you know that mixed derivative theorem holds, sometimes it is difficult to determine fyx and fxy. So it is just the reverse procedure of integration. So we sometimes, while integrating double integrals, sometimes integration, if you first integrate with respect to dx and then integrate to dy, it becomes tricky. But if you first integrate with respect to dy and then integrate with respect to dx, it becomes easier.
That's why we use the change in order of the integral.
Yes, if you change the, because iterative integral you have to pursue in double integral.
Yeah. To make our work easy.
You?
To make our calculation easy.
Yes, it makes your calculation easy. Yes. Sometimes in competitive exams like JAMS and QET, this kind of problems they give. That if you get stuck in solving that actual, you may find yourself in trouble. Okay. Okay. So although we will deal mostly with first and second order partial derivatives, because these appear the most frequently in applications, there is no theoretical limit to how many times we can differentiate a function as long as the derivatives involved exist. Thus we get third and fourth order derivatives denoted by symbols like fxxxy. So remember always fxxy means that you are taking derivative with respect to this y at last. Okay, so this is bit tricky. Fyxyz, if fxyz equal to 1 minus 2xy square z plus x square y, here the order will not be a issue because it is a very nice function. So nice function means the polynomials. The most nice functions are constants obviously, and second most nice and beautiful functions are the polynomials. So first fyxyz, so you need to determine fy first. Fy gives you fy equal to minus 4xyz plus x square. Then you take fyx, you will get minus 4yz plus 2x. Then you get fyxy, you get minus 4z. Fyxyz equal to minus 4. I have already uploaded this note. I will not discuss this theorem and all detail. This note is already uploaded. So only one thing is that this tangent plane equation. So I will solve one problem. Tangent plane equation, if you have one function z equal to fxy, then the tangent plane function will be the tangent plane to a point P ABC is a 12th class problem. Is z minus c equal fx at the point a comma b x minus a plus fy at the point a comma b y minus b. So there is, I will give one problem. Z equal to 2x square plus y square at 113. So please solve z equal to 2x square plus y square at 113. So find the equation of the tangent plane to the elliptic paraboloid z equal to 2x square plus y square at 113. So what you have to do? So 113, first you need to take that whether the question is wrong or right. So you put x equal to 1, y equal to 1, you will get z equal to 3. So the question is right because your 113 is then lying on the card surface. Now fxy is 2x square plus y square. If you take first derivative with respect to x, you will get 2x, you get 4x. If you derivative with respect to y, you get 2y. So you get your answer as z minus 3 equal to x minus 1 into 4x plus y minus 1 into 2y. Oh sorry, you need to put in the 2y part, you need to put this 1 1. So that means 4 will be 4x will be 4 and this 2y will be 2 and then x minus 1 to 1 minus y. So this is, if you just do a little bit calculation, you will get the tangent plane equation as 4x plus 2y minus z equal to 3. Now the tangent plane gives a linear approximation to the surface at the point. Why? Because it is just higher order extension of Taylor's theorem. We will also read Taylor's theorem as well. Because see, this c is actually f of a comma b. So z equal to f of a comma b plus del f del x at the point a comma b into x minus a plus del f del y at the point a comma b into y minus b. So it is just Taylor's expansion in two variable at the point a comma b. Is it clear now? Then so this is just what I have told, that the same thing is written here. This increment theorem is actually in we need to a very basic thing. Okay, we will skip a bit. Okay, just increment. So the differential of f, also called the total differential, is df equal to fx xy dx plus fy xy dy. Here dx equal to delta x and dy equal to delta y are the increments in x and y respectively. Then df is a linear approximation to the total increment delta f. Okay. So the dimensions of a rectangular box are measured to be 75 cm, 60 cm and 40 cm, and each measurement is correct to within 0.2 cm. Use differential to estimate the largest possible error when the volume of the box is calculated from these measurements. V equal to xyz, your x is 75, y equal to 60, z equal to 40, you take dv. So del v del x dx, del v del y dy plus del v del z dz. So note that your vx is yz, vy equal to xz, vz equal to xy. So increment largest error in cubic semi, delta v is approximately is dv. So you need to just calculate your x and y is given, and each measurement you need to show this delta x, delta y, delta z, it can be maximum 0.2. So if you take this, you will get is 1980. So if you take 1980 and take the volume at 60 into 40 into 75, then the relative error you can get at only 1.1% relative error. Is this clear? Now I will move to the most important part, that is differentiable. So differentiable is, let D be a region in R2. A function f d2r is called differentiable at a point a comma b belongs to D if the total increment delta z equal to f of a plus delta x, b plus delta y minus f of a comma b in f with respect to increments delta x, delta y in x comma y can be written as delta f fx a comma b delta x plus fy a comma b delta y plus epsilon 1 delta x plus epsilon 2 delta y. No. So where epsilon 1 tends to 0 and epsilon 2 tends to 0, as both delta x delta y tends to 0, so this then the function is called differentiable. So this is basically a sufficient condition. Let D be a region in R2. A function is called differentiable at a point a comma b subset of a belonging to D. If the, because we mostly deal with real lines, so whenever I see this a comma b, I actually interpret it as an open interval.
Yes.
But it is actually ordered pair, a point. So a comma b subset belonging to D if the total increment delta z is f of a plus delta x, b plus delta y minus f of a comma b in f with respect to increments delta x, delta y in x and y. This can be written as delta f equal to fx a comma b into delta x, fy a comma b into delta y plus epsilon y delta x plus epsilon y epsilon 2 delta y, where epsilon 1 tends to 0 and epsilon 2 tends to 0, as both delta x, delta y tends to 0. The following statements give some connections between differentiability, continuity and the partial derivatives. Let D be a region in R2. Let f d2r be such that both fx, fy exist and D, and at least one of them is continuous at the point, then f is differentiable at a comma b. Is it clear? That means the partial derivative should exist in the domain, in the region. Region means domain
Open connected domain.
Open connected domain. Let D be a region in R2. Let f sub D sub R. Does it mean that the region actually contains all its limit points, kind of? Should a region contain all its limit points?
No. For that, the region must be closed.
Yes. So let D be a region.
Need to get the closure of that region.
Yes. So it is actually open connected domain.
All the points.
Open connected domain, right?
Yes. Here region is open connected.
So fx and fy exist on D, and at least one of them is continuous at a comma b in D. Then f is differentiable at a comma b. Let D be a region in R2. Let f d2r be differentiable at a comma b subset belonging to D. Then f is continuous at a p. Next. So this is, note that the first statement strengthens the increment theorem. Instead of increasing the load on this particular terminology, we will continue with the increment theorem. Note that whenever we assume that fx and fy are continuous, we may replace this with the weaker assumption fxy is differentiable. So otherwise your definition is, let D be a region in R2. Let the function f d2r, then we say that f is differentiable at x0 y0 if there is alpha comma beta belongs to R square such that limit hk tends to 0, f of x0 plus h, y0 plus k minus f of ab is minus alpha h minus beta k divided by square root of h square plus k square equals to 0. In this case, the pair alpha comma beta are called basically total derivative of f at x0 y0. By getting hk tends to 0 along with so these are basically, this alpha and beta are basically the del f del x at the point 0 0 at the point x0 y0, and del f del y at the point x0 y0, right? So next, now fxy xy by square root of x square plus y square. So this function is not continuous, so there is no possibility of this function to be differentiable. fxy equal to x square plus y square, it is a very nice function. So it is always differentiable, always continuous, everything is good for this function. So these all notation, notions, everything hold true for n greater than or equal to 2. So these are chain rules. Recall that chain rule for function if single variable says that when w equal to fx is a differentiable function of x and x equal to gt. So in single variable calculus you can write dw dt equal to dw by dx into dx dt. So this is we call chain rule. So this x equal to gt, this x is basically some intermediate variable. That means just like instead of going direct from Chandigarh to Kolkata, you are going Chandigarh to Hyderabad, and then from Hyderabad you are taking another flight to go to Kolkata. So it is just an intermediate or via route. The same chain rules hold for. So chain rule has different form because here lots of variables are into here. So if you consider in which direction you are moving, the chain rule works in the same direction. Okay. So two intermediate, one independent variable. So w equal to fxy. So if your x is equal to x is equal to two variables are there. So del w del x you can get like del w del x, del w del y, then you can take dx dt, dy dt, and then you move, and then also you move like three intermediate, one independent variable. Then also you can move like del x del y z. So del x del y del w del z, then you are considering dx dt, dy dt, dz dt. So how you will get dw dt? You can get it del w del x dx dt plus del w. So this way the chain rule moves. Actually it moves like a cycle. So two intermediate variables means your w is equal to, so chain rule for function of one independent variable and two intermediate variables. If w equal to fxy is differentiable and if x equal to xt and y equal to yt are differentiable functions of t, then the composite function y equal to fxt yt is a differentiable function of t, and dw dt equal to that means f is first a function of x and y, and then your final variable is t. So you need to take dw dt. So to compute dw dt you need to first calculate del w del x dx dt plus del w del y dy dt. Now for three variables you will do the same. Df dt dw dt will give you del f del x dx dt plus del f del y. So for n variables you can just make the linear sum of the same thing. Okay, there is one question. Please solve this question. Using chain rule, find the derivative of w equal to xy with respect to 2 along with the path x equal to cos t and y equal to sin t. What is the derivative's value at t equal to pi by 2?
minus y.
It is minus 1. Yes, you are correct. So dw
Minus
dt,
y.
minus 1. So dw dt del f del x, del f del x, you take dw dt del f del x dx dt plus del f del y dy dt, and then just put the same thing. So now express del w del r and del w del s in terms of r and s. If w equal to x square plus y square, x equal to r minus s, y equal to r plus s, del w del r equal to del w del x del r plus del w del y del r equal to 4r if you take del w del s. So just I am not really eager to read this slides reading, so just
using the chain.
Yes, just using the chain rule. I am just note I have already uploaded, so I am not wasting much time here. There are also some implicit directional derivative is not in the syllabus of our NPTEL. Okay, so now I can, here it is only directional derivatives, tangent line and all. Now I can move to problem. Okay, so this, okay, now I can move to my problem setup. Okay, these I think I have already discussed. This problem is very easy to solve. You need to just solve. You have fxy, you take del f del x and del f del y. You need to solve del f del x and del f del y and this is very easy problem. You just use the definition, and then by using the definition you can yes,
you can skip it.
Yes. Now find the partial derivative of the functions with respect to each variable. These are also quite same, but this one bit tricky because mod xy less than 1. So this geometric series you can write it and in terms of 1 by 1 minus xy. Then you take del f del x, you take del f del y, you will get final answer. Next problem. Find the value of del z del x at the point 1 1 1 if the equation xy plus z cube x minus 2y z equals to 0 holds, where z is defined as a function of the independent variables x and y and the partial derivative exists. So
the same problem as you discussed earlier.
Yes, I have already discussed earlier. So I will just show the answer. The answer is minus 2, so that anybody who is solved, they can check the answer. Now these are actually, you need to find del x del u and del y del v if the equations are u equal to this and x and y defines as functions of the independent variables u and v, and the partial derivatives exist. Then let x equal to x square plus y square, you need to find del s del u. So this may be bit tricky one. So what we have to apply it, from naked eye you can understand that we need to apply the chain rule. So consider the given equation u as x square minus y square, v as x square minus y. You take implicitly differentiation with respect to u as well as with respect to v. Subtract equation 2 from 1, you will get del y by del u equal to 1 by 1 minus 2y, and substitute the above equation 2 to obtain del x del u. In a similar way, differentiate the given equations u and v in terms of implicitly with respect to v. You will get del y del v. You get del x del u. You have del y del u. You have del y del v. You will have, so del x del u you have del y del v. Now you need to find del s del u. So del s del u, you implement chain rule. You get del s del u equal to del s del x del u plus del x del y del u, and then you will get del s del u equal to 1 plus 2y by 1 minus 2y. Just a bit tricky one. I have already this week 3 note in the folder, so you can easily cross check. Now this is implicit function, express def w del t, because these problems I have made in 2023. These are not collected from somewhere. So some books I have found some exercise, then I have solved in my own way. I may have goofed up and do some bad calculations, so I need tell everyone who watch my YouTube video, please solve the problem on your own. So express del w del t as a function of t, both by using the chain rule and by expressing w in terms of t before differentiating, where w equal to ln x square plus y square plus z square, x equal to cos t, y equal to sin t, z equal to 4 root t. Again the same chain rule thing will go on and on. Del w del t, del x del w del x, for 3 variables I have already discussed. I can skip this part. Final answer is 16 by 1 plus 16t. Again this problem is quite similar to the last problem. So you need to express del z del u and del z del v as a function of u and v, both by using the chain rule and by expressing z in terms of u and v before differentiating, where we have z equal to 4 e power x ln y, x equal to ln u cos b, and y equal to u sin b. So del z del u. So del z del u how you will solve? Del z del u you will get it as del z del u equal to 4 e power x ln y. So you first you can just implicit differentiation you need to take, and because you have x equal to ln u cos b, so del x del u will give you something, and del y, so you can solve it on your own. So just this, the solution is you need to find del z del u. So del z del x del u plus del z del y del u. Just be cautious while solving with this ln and sin cos terms, because sometimes we forget to put minus sign and all, so then our answer gets stuck and we get 0. So please do not do those mistakes, and it will have some muddy calculation. I will not read the calculation and all. So the final answer will give you, it is very lengthy question, so the final answer will give you, this is your final answer. This del z del v will be 4u cos v square by sin v minus sin v ln u sin v, and del z del u equal to, here I have just put, right? Okay, so by putting I can discuss. First express z in terms of u and v, then differentiate with respect to u and v. So z equal to 4 e power x ln y, so 4 e power ln u cos v ln u sin v. So 4 u and e and ln are actually two complement functions. E की power ln cancels each other, the inverse operator they are actually. So 4u cos b ln u sin b. Now differentiate the above function with respect to u. So del z del u will give you 4 cos b u del u ln u sin b plus ln u sin b del u, and then del z del u 4 cos b u sin b by u sin b plus ln u sin b. Just basic calculation, you can get del z del u equal to 4 cos b 1 plus ln u sin b. Also to find del z del v with respect to v, the procedure is same, just you need to be cautious with dealing with sin cos function and along with the ln operator introduced here.
But instead of using a chain rule, you just directly substitute the function of the
Yes. This is actually a verification problem. So what you have done in chain rule, by substituting you are also getting that thing, same thing. That the chain rule and they are actually acting as complementary to each other. Okay. I have written in the question as well the same thing. So these are both using chain rule and by expressing z in terms of uv before differentiating. So just by two different methods we are solving it. Now suppose that the partial derivatives of a function fx y z at the point on the helix x equal to cos t y equal to sin t, z equal to t, or fx equal to cos t, fy equal to sin t, fz equal to t square plus t minus 2. At what points on the curve, if any, can f take an extreme values? You can solve it. So extreme values means fx, fy, fz are x equal to cos t minus sin t, z equal to t. So basically you are putting a constant. You need to find so you are taking derivative of the function fxyz at the point helix, on the helix, x equal to cos t, y equal to sin t, z equal to t. At what points on the curve, if any, can f take extreme values?
Illustrate the problem? Could you illustrate the problem?
Okay, the problem illustrate is, so function fxyz you do not know. Suppose that the partial derivatives of function fxyz at the point on the helix. So you are taking partial derivatives on only those points who lie on the helix, x equal to cos t, y equal to sin t, and z equal to t. And what you get? You get this fx equal as cos t, fy as sin t, and fz equal to t square plus t minus 2. At what points on the curve, if any, this f can take extreme values?
Can you show the answer?
Yes, fine. So you have the helix as cos t, sin t, and z equal to t. So to find the extreme values of f on the given helix, you first need to find the critical points. That means df dt equal to 0. And what is df dt? Df dt is del f del x dx dt plus del f del y dy dt plus del f del z dt. Now you have del f del x, del f del y, del f del z, and on that particular helix you need to consider. So you have already given as cos t, sin t, and t square plus t minus 2, and these x, y, and z on the helix are basically again cos t, sin t, and t. Now if you take derivative, so cos t, del of cos t give you minus sin t, plus sin t, del of sin t is cos t, plus t square plus t minus 2 into del t of t equal to 1. So this will give you 0. So both these will cancel each other, because minus sin cos t, sin t cos t, and this is plus sin t cos t, it will give you 0. So t square plus t minus 2 equal to 0 will give you the roots as t equal to 1 and t equal to minus 2. So the extreme values are t equal to 1 and t equal to minus 2.
Okay, it's a nice question.
Actually this question specifically I have given in this thing. This question was asked in some Kuwait paper, maybe when I made in 2019 or 20, or maybe in SET paper in 2019, SET and state eligibility test. I have never given SET, so maybe in SET this question came. So somewhere I have collected from previous year's SET, Kuwait kind of question. Also there is one question in my this NPTEL when I will start discussing maxima and minima of function of two variables, because maxima, minima, saddle, these things are also comes in any competitive examinations, right? So
yes.
that class will need one class, because maxima, minima, saddle in NPTEL exam also there will be one question.
Okay.
So
sir, do you have any idea about the pattern of the upcoming examination?
I do not have. Actually, I have seated for some NPTEL exams, but I have never given an exam. But the pattern will actually follow. There will be MCQ, and as well as multiple select question, as well as MSQ.
that is the problem. But some of my colleagues face the exam as a subjective, and some of them as a multiple choice type question. So I don't have any idea. In fact, I am actually confused how kind of question will be given.
Okay, they will give not subjective. It will be multiple select question.
Okay.
So maybe more than one question correct, option correct.
Okay. Multiple type question and multiple choice type question.
Yes, both can come, because Jitu sir usually gives multiple select question as well as multiple choice question, MCQ as well as MSQ.
Actually, that means at least it is not subjective.
No, not subjective. Math course, this engineering mathematics will not subjective.
Okay.
This will not be subjective. No way subjective. Only subjective rule is followed by ISI Kolkata.
Okay, no, actually, some of my colleagues faced subjective type of question. That is the problem.
No. Become sir, because this
not related to this course, but in other course, they have faced some sort of subjective kind of examination.
actually this specifically this engineering mathematics 1, 2 and advanced engineer for advanced calculus for engineers, these courses are meant for first year, second year BTech people who are reading. They are our core target. BTech who are doing in NIT and all colleges, or BSc first year, not BSc. This is meant for BTech first year, second year people. And you know that in IITs itself, BTech people will keep both hands up if you give subjective question. They are not bothered about your epsilon delta. They need just placement. Because in your IIT also there is a course on maths and computing. It is the most lucrative course after CS in IIT Ropar. So in maths and computing, this time one guy got 65 lakh package. So they are more bothered with MCQ. You give whatever MCQ problem, they will solve it. Maybe in some wrong manner. There may be some logical flaw, but the answer is somehow they get correct.
Afterwards, they will actually they will bother about the result.
Yes, they will result about mostly most crudely they bother about their CG. They need +8 CGPA, because if they do not have +8 CGPA, some companies demand +8 CGPA. Otherwise, they will not allow you to sit in the placement.
Yes.
Like many companies like Samsung, okay, Google, Microsoft, they are core employees in our IIT Ropar. And then actually you need +8 CGPA. They are not bothered about what you teaching them and all. They will just ask you, sir, मेरा 8 CG हो जाएगा ना सर, 9 हो जाएगा ना सर, 10 हो जाएगा ना सर, वही है उनका. And that is the very bad thing in actually we are meant in doing PhD because we want to be teachers, and they will not ask questions like this. They are more focused on getting. They will not come to class, but they will fumble. Some students will fumble, and they will say that TAs and teachers will not. They will not most, because in IIT system you can directly complain about an professor. In IIT system it is very rigid, because college you can throw a jog into your professor's head and nobody will say a word to you if you have unions backing. But in IIT you cannot even utter a word about a professor. So their first line-up attack comes to us, and we are just sandwiched between the faculty and the BTech people. Okay, so therefore now extreme values is t equal to 1, so you need to put in the helix. So cos 1 sin 1 and z equal to 1, so and minus 2, so cos minus 2, y equal to sin minus 2 and z equal to minus 2. In fact, do you know, Ritam said that in IIT system every student gives feedback about their faculties as well as for TAs.
Yes, actually I pursued from IIT Roorkee.
Okay.
My MSc.
So you did masters from IIT Roorkee?
Yes.
Okay. So you know Sandeep sir, Sandeep Banerjee?
Yeah, but actually I passed from in the year 2008. Maybe he came after my
2008.
Yes, yes.
So maybe you know my SAT supervisor, Binoy Katiyar.
Yes.
So he is.
I don't have any chance to sit in his class, but because my course is something different, my course was applied mathematics. I pursued my master's degree in applied mathematics.
Okay, I know. I think the SAT is also did applied mathematics.
I saw him. Yes.
So actually, Jitendra sir, the course administrator, is also passed that industrial mathematics MSc from IIT Roorkee.
Actually, he taught the class in the course industrial mathematics.
Yeah.
Industrial mathematics. So some of my friends who got admission in industrial mathematics, they saw him in class. But I didn't have much more opportunity to attend his class because he never get any class in our course applied mathematics.
Okay. Katiyar sir.
Yes.
Okay.
I saw him.
Okay. And maybe sometimes you have also came across with my guide also, because my guide passed out PhD from 2007. So also IIT Roorkee. My sir did PhD from Professor Binoy Kumar Katiyar, and Jitu sir did his PhD from Magdeburg, because after pursuing MSc he went straight to Germany and did Magdeburg. So there is also another madam, that is Kusumdeep ma'am. So he
yes. KD ma'am, na? Yes.
Yes, Phaji mathematics and logic and these things.
Also, Phaji mathematics and I saw him, but I remember.
But actually, I know the young faculties, because in my PMRF review panel, 2-3 professors usually sit from IIT Roorkee. Sandeep Banerjee, Ram Jiwari, they actually sits in my PMRF review panel. So that is why I know them.
Okay.
Because in each year I need to prove my success, whatever I have publication and all.
Okay.
So that is why I know. Very nice. So these are some questions. This question I have already discussed in Anuj sir question. Xy plus e power y by y square plus 1. Fxy, find the total derivative. We have already discussed that del f del xy, del f del x dx, del f del x and del f del y, you get the ordered pair 1 comma pi, you put, you get the answer. So these are mixed derivatives, whether equal or not. So you need to just verify that, when you just calculate del 2f del x del y, del 2f del y del x, and you prove it, no problem. So these are some problem. These are exercise for you. You people please solve, take a screenshot and solve them. Compute fx, fy, fz. These are very easy problems. Fx, y, z, they are explicitly mentioned.
Just one.
Yes. This question 4, 5, 6, 7.
But could you go to the previous slide?
Okay. Yes.
Just wait one screenshot.
Ritam sir, if you have some good materials of this type of problems, because you teach in college or you maybe in other academic activities, you can put a mail to me, okay? So it may be beneficial for the upcoming students.
Okay. Definitely.
So you just search by my name, you will get my email ID there, you put me an email.
Okay.
Okay, these are also very basic problems. I will not waste much time in it, because these questions I have already discussed in my previous slides. maybe this question may be a bit tricky. Is it x plus y sine 1 by x plus y not equals to 0, so that the function is continuous at origin but first partial derivatives fx and fy do not exist at the origin?
I think that question would be in the slide of Jitendra sir's presentation.
Okay, Anuj sir questions. Okay.
Okay.
This I think if it's so, because it will give you oscillatory function sine 1 by x type of,
Yeah.
as you go. Yes, so it will swings hard, it starts swinging hard, so that the function is not continuous at origin. So just you take y equal to mx square, this curve, parabolic curve, you show that it is not continuous but the first order partial derivatives fx and fy exist at the origin. I think this type of classes are very benefit for me also, because in interview there is something teaching and they will ask this type of question. So some counter example that is defined everywhere but not continuous. This exist continuous but not partial derivative exist. Right?
While facing any interview, it is difficult to remember all such examples.
In fact,
Tricky examples.
my sir told me that during his interview in BITS Pilani, he was asked the definition of natural logarithm, and he just got puzzled in between that what is natural definition of natural logarithm. Then somehow he managed that 2 square is equal to 4 and 2 cube, this is the answer he gave. So I am telling you just funny story. So 4 is less than 5 less than 8. Okay, so 4 is 2 square, 8 is 2 cube. So since 4 is less than 5 less than 8, then consider 2 की power x equal to 5. So this x should be less than 2 less than 3, because it is just a inequality. 2 की power 2 less than 2 की power x less than 2 की power 3. So this, what is the value of this exact x, how to you can represent it? So that representation is log 5 base 2. The sir has told this answer and somehow the interviewers become happy.
No, in that situation, presence of mind is very important.
So sir somehow managed it.
Yeah.
And also there is one, I think the question is maybe 99.99% correct, maybe 100% correct, because you can somehow you can convince that this is the thing, and students can also like understand it that what the guy is trying to say. Okay, so these are also you can directly determine. Okay, question 14, problems 14, you need to determine fxx, fyy, fzz, fxy, fyz and fzx of f equal to x की power x, y की power y and z की power z when xyz not equals to 0, 0, 0. Ritom sir, please solve this question and tell me the answer, because I do not have the answer, so that I can tell the students.
Which question 14?
14.
could you tell me what is the answer of this exercise?
I do not know. That is why I told you to solve this problem.
Yes, complicated, but
So whatever you actually, if I solve this problem, I am 95% confidence interval. I can that question will be wrong. And if you solve, I am sure that on alpha equal to 5, p value 0.05, your answer will be correct.
okay. No, actually,
Because I will tell you
I
what.
just computed fxx and answer is x to the power x, y to the power y, z to the power z into 1 plus log x whole square plus 1 by x.
Okay, because many log terms will come, I think, and
Actually, what I did is that I first taking logarithm on both sides.
yes, you need to take logarithm. Then you take x log x, y log y plus z log z. Yes,
Plus x log x.
yes, that's it. So I will tell you one funny story. During my GATE exam, there was a problem that was the inequality was less than. But throughout my mind, I have solved that type of problem for less than equal to inequality. And when I get less than equal to, the least positive integer satisfying that became 8. But since in the original problem it was less than, so the least positive integer satisfying that kind of setup will be 9. Okay, but it was my unfortunate case that 8 and 9 both were in the option. So I considered the problem as less than equal to. I have solved it. I got the answer 8. I put 8. Then I came to home happily that I will get above this type of marks. And the answer key came. I saw that it is 9. And then I again checked the question that it is the less than. I did not receive 2 points as well as 0.66 went negative.
Yeah.
The same thing happened in the dynamical system problem. I actually do research in nonlinear dynamics, so I am quite familiar with nonlinear dynamics from my bachelor's days, because I did my bachelor's from Vishwabharati and master's from Vishwabharati. So there are many faculties who are quite good in nonlinear dynamics. But in my GATE exam, I couldn't solve the dynamical system problem, and that problem I could solve 100 out of 100 times. And if these two problems would have been correct, my destiny would have been different, because I could have get MTech in IIT Madras, and currently I am doing some company job, because I knew the reality of PhD quite well, because I did my bachelor's and master's in Vishwabharati, and there are many PhD students. So I know the reality quite hard, that what happens and what is happens and all. But something happened, that COVID came, and then so how your decision alters, or some little mistake alters your path.
Okay. In some situations may arise where taking the right decision is too much difficult.
Yes, but actually these two are quite like, the destiny told me that you will do PhD in IIT Ropar and you will not get MTech, and then you will receive PMRF, you will teach in NPTEL, you will learn from Ritam sir, you will interact with Ritam sir, so everything is predefined. So I am just following that path.
But you don't know that predefined items.
Yes, I do not know till now, because time you can only see in the past, not in the future.
Yes.
So okay, good things happens in different ways. I just got a appointment in Ropar, I received PMRF, so I got good scholarship. So okay, in my friend circle nobody have PMRF. Somebody is doing PhD in Canada, some have IMSc, but I am the only PMRF in my friend circle. So it is something like good. Okay. So find total differential of a function z equal to. Yes sir, continue please.
No, actually that's your achievement.
Yes. So find total differential of the function z equal to tan inverse y by x when xy not equals to 0, 0 at the point AB. So this is also a total differential. You take tan inverse x. So tan inverse x, the derivative is 1 plus x square. A partial derivative, you need to keep one variable, you need to fix one variable. So same thing. Now find total differential of u equal to x square plus y square plus z square की power minus 3 by 2 when x, y, z not equals to 0, 0, 0 at the point A, B, C. This is also a total differential problem. You need to find del f del x. Here I request you to use one notation, that x square plus y square plus z square is actually somebody is here written something, no. So here use one notation, that if r square equal to x square plus y square plus z square, so that will make your life bit easier. So you can write u equal to r ki power minus 3. So if you write u equal to r ki power minus 3, then you take del u del x, del u del y, del u del z, and then you can write it as r ki power minus 3. So r minus 3 r ki power minus 4 del r del x, and then you calculate del r del x, and because of axial symmetry, del r del x, del r del y, and del r del z are all same. So it makes your life a bit easier. And r is actually 2x. Del r del x equal to 2x. Okay, solution of question 2. I think this problem I have already discussed, that what is this, and all. Okay, so 2 days I have already discussed my material. Okay, Ritom sir, around which time I have started? No problem. Actually, next me saw something. In the next class, I will start discussing maxima and minima. I will start discussing maxima.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe differentiability of two variables. I can give some more problems because I have some 5 to 7 minutes. Differentiability of function of two variables. Differentiability of function of two variables. Get maths question. I think in this class already I have discussed two most important problems. One is partial derivative, the other one is the derivative and chain rule. Is my voice is now it is clear to you?
No, still
Okay. Okay. Differentiability of functions of two variables. Some JAM questions in 2023, JAM 2026 question. Are there any question on differentiability? I can have a check in here if there are some problems on. Oh, sorry. So we can give a try to them. Mathematics. Are there any problems that also, Ritom sir, there was one problem, that is there was a problem called probability problem. I give an example for it is basically they give real analysis problem, right? They do not give problems of function of two variables. Do they give in JAM? Maybe we can get some problem. Differential equation, there are many problems, so you can solve them, no problem. I am quite bad at real analysis. I fumble in real analysis a lot. Are there any question? Just give me 1 second. Then at least we for 4 minutes. This one. Oh, local minimum maxima I have not till now discussed. This one. Ritom sir, please give a hit to this problem. Is it visible to you? Please give a try to this one. Please give, you can give this question. Please give a hit to this question. I remember that they usually give one problem in every net, jam question, QA, PAT, whatever exam, JNU, whatever question. Is my voice still breaking? So I just solve this question. I am writing something. Okay, just I so this is the problem which we need to solve. Okay, so actually my battery is very low, so I cannot. I am just discussing the maybe question. You can find it here, the answer also. So I am just turning off. My battery is very low. So can I turn off? Okay, is my voice audible now better?
Yes. Now it is perfect order.
Okay, so maybe the battery was very low, that is why it was not audible to you. So did you solve this problem, sir?
Oh.
So what I see that,
Option C.
so what the answer, what I see that the iterated limits, this limit exists, although but I think this limit does not exist.
No, the first one does not exist.
The first one. Okay, so first one is if y tends to 0, you fix x.
Yes.
But first one it is you fix, so x y square plus y की power 5 na. If you fix x, then it will become the upper side
Oh, no. Yes.
because y की power 5. But I think second one is not, does not exist, right?
Second one is.
Second was another, because you see that here if you fix y, then you get x by x square, and if you fix y x by x square, there is no way that xx, so that is why this cannot, because this cannot exist then.
No, as x tending to 0 first, the expression would be y to the power 5 by y to the power 4.
Yes, y to the power 5 by y to the power 4, then also it exists,
Yes.
right?
Yes, so both the limits exist.
So both the limits exist, the iterated limits exist, so option A is true. So
Yes.
exactly one of the partial derivative exists at 0, 0. Now we need to solve for partial derivative.
Both the partial derivatives exist because both the derivative, the partial derivatives were 0 and 0.
Partial derivatives are 0, 0. No, partial derivatives. Because hk. If you put f of h0 is actually f of h0 is equal to 0. f0 is 0, so 0. f of 0k. f of 0k is k की power 5. No. f of 0k is that will be 1. f of 0k will be k की power 5.
Ultimately as k tending to okay. Now we got it.
But exist.
1.
So both the partial derivatives del f del x del f del y exist at 0, 0. Now
Yes,
f is not differentiable at 0, 0. This one.
It is not differentiable at 0.
Del f del x is 0, right?
Yes.
Okay, and del f del y is 1.
1.
So 0, can we write it as 0 into some function like del f del x, 0 into h, f of hk minus f00. We need to write it as f of hk minus f00. We need to write as del f del x at the point plus del f del y at the point into k plus epsilon 1 phi of hk plus epsilon 2 psi of hk. This phi and h, epsilon and epsilon 2 are constants. This phi and psi tends to 0. No, epsilon 1 epsilon 2 tends to 0 as.
Sorry, you need to use the definition of differentiability directly.
No, you can write it as f of hk minus f00. You write it as, how you can write it as? So you can
By the definition of function.
differentiation, I know. You write it as f of hk minus f of 00 equal to del f del x at the point 0, 0. into h plus del f del y, the total derivative plus epsilon 1 phi of hk plus epsilon 2 psi of hk, where epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 tends to 0 as epsilon 1 epsilon 2 tends to 0 as epsilon 1 epsilon 2 tends to 0 as
x tending to 0, y tending to 0.
हाँ x tends to 0 y tends to 0. So f of h के माइनस f 0 0 आप उससे यूज लिख सकते हो ना. I am calling.
Could it be expressed in that format? Means hk square plus k square 5, so k square into h. Okay.
Hey, this one.
Yeah,
I understand. So actually this.
definition of differentiability.
Yes. So what I got stuck. Oh, now I get. Actually here the notation is epsilon and epsilon 2, and in my mind the definition is phi and psi. So that is why I got confused.
No. I understood that, but how could I express that fhk minus f00 in terms of that?
There is no, you get fhk equal to hk square plus k की power 5 by h square plus k की power 4. Now if हाँ so then अच्छा प्लस k आ रहा है ना, प्लस k. Okay, yes I got your point. So then you need to just that one, that f of xk hk minus f00 minus alpha h minus beta k divided by square root of h square plus k square. This tends to 0.
Alternative format.
Yes, that tends to 0. Actually you told me that del f del y equal to 0. That same thing is popping into my mind, because usually in these problems you get del f del x and del f del y as 0.
Yes.
So but here 1, so you get k plus k, right? So you cannot express it. Okay, yes I got it. So now you need to write f of hk minus f00 minus alpha h minus beta k divided by square root of h square plus k square. Just replace h instead of x and k instead of y. So what you get in this limit?
Alpha h minus beta k by 2 over k square plus k square. No,
f hk minus f00. So first you will get hk square plus k की power 5 by h square plus k की power 4.
K की power 4. Okay, huh?
Then minus 0 into minus f00 will give you 0. So forget about it. Then minus 0 into h minus 1 into k. Okay. So f hk minus k. So f hk minus k. So first do this. hk square plus k की power 5 divided by h square plus k की power 4 minus k. So you will get h square plus k की power 4. Here you will get hk square plus k की power 5 minus h square k minus k की power 5. So k की power 5, k की power 5 will cancel each other. Then you take hk as common. If you take hk common, you will get hk.
Sir, could you repeat once again? H square h.
Ritam sir, you will get it as f of hk minus f00 minus alpha h minus beta k. Now your alpha is 0 and your beta is 1, because alpha beta are just del f. Yes. So you will get ultimately del limit hk tends to 0 0 f hk minus k divided by square root of h square plus k square. Now your f of hk you will get from here. Now you need to just do a simplification. Just you do the simplification and tell me.
Here also in the denominator root over h square plus k power 4 or root over h square plus k square.
No, this denominator f of hk में ये रहेगा ना. डिनोमिनेटर में तो फिर से वो उसके साथ नीचे के साथ इसके साथ मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएगा ना, फिर h स्क्वायर प्लस k की पावर 4 के साथ आपके न्यूमरेटर
डिनोमिनेटर that is root over h square plus k square.
Yes, h square plus k square. In the numerator you will get f of hk minus k.
Yes.
Now you need to f of hk minus k. Yes.
Okay.
Now your f of hk is hk square plus k की power 5 by h square plus k की power 5. This k की power 5 and k की power 5 will cancel each other.
It cancel. Okay.
So just you the simplified form you tell me, because I do not have pen and paper here.
Yes. hk square minus h square k, and in the denominator h square plus k to the power 4 to the power 3 by 2.
ना h हाँ root over
sorry, h square plus k to the power 4 root over h square plus k square.
Yes, now we need to find that whether this limit exists or not. So what is your take, whether this limit exists or not? So you see, this is just a problem of jam. So this is actually 2 marks question. If you solve it, you will get 2 in jam. Actually, as
it's almost 10 to 12 minutes.
This problem, this problem itself, it is
problem. And still we are not getting the answer.
Because we are not preparing for jam right now.
Yes.
If we are preparing for jam, then we have already solved it. Otherwise, we have already skipped it.
Yes. It's all about impression.
Yes. So, did you get the final expression?
H square minus a square.
Okay, just I am finding out the answer. Okay, jam, because I need to tell the answer to the student. Jam 2025 maths answer key. See, general cutoff marks in math is 19.90, or at least you need to get 40 to get good place in maybe in IIT for general. Mathematical statistics cutoff 8.75. Thirty-one maybe. If I am very bad in Tukka, but I think that differentiability will exist. May not exist, because in this y की power 4. No, think a bit in different way. Yes, I think that differentiability will not exist. The answer will be A and C. Let's see. A, C, D, it is differentiable. So it is differentiable. How it is differentiable? See, you get it as, if you take hk common, you take hk common, k minus h divided by h square plus k की power 5, k की power 4. No, there is also y minus x, and then in the denominator you have square root of x square plus y square. Oh, just see, sir, the question is f is not differentiable at 0, 0. It is not asking that whether differentiable, so that will be not differentiable. It is true.
Yes. F is not differentiable.
Yes, f is not differentiable. See, they have highlighted it. So f is not differentiable because in the denominator you will get terms like k की power 4, which you cannot manage through the numerator. Okay.
But still it is there to prove that f is not differentiable.
Yes.
From our equation.
Because intuition you can say that okay, in the denominator part you cannot manage this k की power 4 higher order term, because in numerator you do not have na. So that will basically go to minus infinity and infinity based upon your direction of h and k. Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so this is very nice problem na.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you Ritam sir for joining. Maybe the next class, because I will return from my West Bengal to
चंडीगढ़.
Chandigarh. So I will maybe shift the class. Please cooperate and join. I will take in the
Okay.
afternoon session itself.
After sir in which day?
I do not know. Maybe in Saturday or in Monday. Maybe in Monday.
Okay. In place of Sunday.
In case of Sunday, because I have my flight.
Okay.
I need to go home ना. I have already एक हफ्ता मेरा हो गया छुट्टी का, तो 2 हफ्ते का छुट्टी है, तो नेक्स्ट संडे मुझे जाना पड़ेगा ना. मेरा फ्लाइट है दुर्गापुर से, तो चला जाऊंगा.
अच्छा.
ठीक है.
आपका घर कहाँ पड़ता है?
मेरा होम टाउन. ओके, आई एम जस्ट स्विचिंग ऑफ द